And welcome back to the Flow Sports Fix on this Monday evening, chatting with Dan Crouch about the NBA and the NBL basketball. It's coming your way very soon. We'll also catch up with Courtney and her Sports Express. But right now it's time for Jase the Statman looking at local netball. Some games were played, some weren't because of COVID, but Jason will give us the update on that. Isn't that right, Statman? What's going on?
Thanks, Clayton. Yes, there was a lot of competitions, obviously, around Victoria that did not play last weekend due to the COVID-19 pandemic in those locations. We're going to have a look at how the season sits and check their ladders. Hume football and netball had a break as well. We'll get to all of that. First of all, though, let's start in SA, and we'll start in the Western area, Western Air Netball. Only two matches I've got scores for so far from last weekend. The West Coast Hawks, they had a win over Ceduna Blues in a thriller there, 54-48. And Wirralur and Thevenard had a draw. So Wirralur still undefeated, but it's their first dropped point of the competition. So a draw keeps them undefeated, but what a great effort from Thevenard. Eastern Air Netball, no scores from those guys yet. In Great Flinders Netball, we've got the A-grade matches there, and Locke had a good win over United Yolana, 47-37. Eyre United 28 over Ramblers 53 over Eyre United 28. And Cummins Kapini Cougars had a good win over Tumby Bay, 48-27. Good winners there in the A-grade competition. Elliston Districts having the bye in Great Flinders last weekend. And in Eastern Air, even though we don't have the scores, Central Air United, the team that we follow in that competition, they had a bye as well. Moving on to Yorke Peninsula Netball now, 4 A-grade matches to have a look at from across last weekend. Baskerville thrashed Wallaroo 74-20. A high-scoring game between Kadina and Central Yorke saw the Cougars prevail, Central Yorke 59, Kadina 53. The CMS Crows, a good win over Butte, 57-36. And Ardross in a hard-fought win over the Southern Eagles, 46-35. Northern Areas Netball, what about these scores? Jamestown Peterborough 61 over Orroroo 38, but BMW and Southern Flinders, they fought out an absolute thriller in the footy where I think there was only 4 points the difference on the final siren. In the netball, it was even closer. In fact, they couldn't be split at Melrose. They had a 48 each draw. So a cracking game in netball, that one. Broughton Mundura had a very comfortable win over Crystal Brook in the other A-grade match, 69-28. We move on now and we go across the border. Now we're going to Hume Netball first. And Hume Netball didn't play last weekend, nothing to do with COVID-19. It was all about a bye week. Normally they would play Interleague this weekend, Hume, but Interleague hasn't been a thing since COVID hit. So, with that said, let's have a look at the A-grade ladder as it sits right now. We're about nearly halfway through the season. I think they play 18 rounds in Hume. We're at the end of round 7. So, on top is Osborne, who are undefeated at the moment. Big percentage there. But interestingly enough, Jindera, who are in second spot on the ladder, 6 wins, 1 loss, they actually have a greater percentage than Osborne, which is interesting. They have the best attacking lineup of the competition, having scored 431 goals. Jindera's last season in 2019 was based around their brilliant defence. Well, this year it's all about their attack. The Billabong Crows, back-to-back champs in this competition. They're back in third spot on the ladder, 6 wins, 1 loss, with a very healthy percentage of their own. Lockhart are in fourth position on the ladder, standalone with 5 wins and 2 losses. And rounding out the top 6, we've got Randall Bundry Waller in 5th spot and Howlong in 6th spot. Only percentage separating those two. And they have both had 4 wins for the season. Outside of the top 6, CDHBU, 3 wins, 4 losses. The Murray Magpies, Holbrook and Brock Burham have all had the 2 wins for the season from 7 games, and it's just a percentage separating them. Henty, just the 1 win from 7 games to be 11th on the ladder, and Colcan are winless so far from 7 matches to be at the bottom of the ladder. Into Victoria now, and let's have a look at North Central Netball's A-grade competitions ladder. We're 6 rounds into that competition, And obviously the break for COVID, we don't know when we'll be back, hopefully soon, but we don't exactly know. So that ladder sits like this at the moment. There's 2 undefeated sides in North Central Netball that were due to play off for that top spot last weekend. Unfortunately, COVID had other plans. So Bort 6-0 at the moment, top of the ladder. Wedderburn 6-0 as well. Only just over 10 percentage points separating those two. In third spot on the ladder, Charlton have had 4 wins and 2 losses. And they are standalone in third, a game clear of Birchip Watcham. In fact, not quite a game clear, half a game clear, because Birchip have had 3 wins, 2 losses and a draw. Sea Lake Nandalia are outside of the top 4 by a game and a half. They've had just the 2 wins for the year in the A-grade competition there. Donald, 1 win and 1 draw for 6 premiership points. St Arnaud have had 1 win for 4 points. And Witcherproof Narraport on the bottom of the ladder, yet to register a win. And if we finish off now with Sunraysia and Netball, let's have a look at the ladder there as it sits. Some teams have played 5, some teams have played 6 matches as we look to round out the first round there. So on top of the ladder, Wentworth undefeated. They've had 5 wins from 5 starts. Owen United, the Kangas, comfortably in second spot on the ladder. Well, when I say comfortably, they're a bit of percentage separating them and Eyre, about 1.2%, I think. So not comfortable at all. Eyre 4-1 as well. Those two are comfortably ahead of Imperials, though, with a percentage gap and a game gap between those guys. So Imperials back on 3-2 from 5 matches. Mildura have played 6. They're 3 wins, 3 losses. And South Mildura are also 3 wins, 3 losses. Merbein have just had the 1 win to be in 7th spot on the ladder. Robinvale, 1 win from 6 matches. And Redcliffe's yet to break their duck. That's a look at where those competitions are sitting across the border in Victoria. And on tomorrow's program here on the Sports Fix, we'll have a look at some other competitions in South Australia and see what their results were on the weekend. And we'll also have a look at the rest of the competitions in Victoria in our area and go through their ladders as well. It is the Sports Fix. Back to you, Clayton.
Thanks, Jase. Looking forward to that on tomorrow's Sports Fix program. Coming up next, Dan Crouch. We're looking at the NBL. And we're also going to have a look at the NBA. Can it be a Brooklyn Nets LA Lakers final? We're wondering, we're hoping. We'll find out. We'll talk to Dan in just a second.